Hey Time Bomb fans, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching this video. Today is actually a rather sad day. It's November 4 and anyway outside it's a bit gray, the sky, and the weather is not so nice. Typical November weather. Here we can have a glimpse at it. Here very bad. And I think today we also see the end of Time Bomb 3. It will probably not be finished because I really tried my best to get these 3 EF86 pentodes in the preamp section to sound good and well, and to a certain amount I would say I mastered it, but it's still not the sound which I think is worse or is good enough to call it a Time Bomb. In my mind I compared against Time Bomb 1 and Time Bomb 2, and whenever I played them I had this wow, cool, great feeling. But here, whatever I'm trying, so let me just switch off my soldering iron. Whatever I play here, or whatever I try, I always have this feeling, yeah, but not really. So, and just to give you an idea, I really tried basically everything with this amplifier. So let's have a look. You see a lot of pots here, variable resistors, because when I started building this amp, I just started with the cathode bias pots, this one here, or maybe I take a chopstick, yeah, chopstick as a pointing device. So I started with these pots here, which are cathode bias pots. Here's the third one for the third tube. So by the way, once again, the layout here is the first tube underneath, the second one, the third one, fourth is not plugged in, and then this is the output section here. But just with adjusting the cathode bias, it did not really work out. Second, I tried, of course, a lot of cathode bias caps here with my cascade, where I can switch between 1 nanofarad and up to 220 nanofarad, or electrolytic capacitors from 1 microfarad up to, I think, 100 microfarad. So I tried a myriad of combinations about having proper bypass capacitors, but unfortunately I could always get a setting where I say, well, not bad, but it was not what I really wanted. Then as the next step, I was then experimenting with the screen grid voltage. This is this pink cable here. So I varied that from 80 to 90 to 100 to 120 to even 130, 140. Only with the effect that I think with 130 it sounded better than with 80. So because one friend in our forum, he gave the hint to lower it, and currently I'm trying to lower it down to 92 again, just for a final test, but still that did not work out properly. And then in my desperation, what I also added were these pots here. They are basically just in parallel to the anode or to the plate resistors. The plate resistors are fixed in my design on 220 kilo ohms, but now I put them in parallel, so they're always the minimum resistance is this resistor here. It's a 56 kilo ohms, but then we can, in parallel to the 220 kilo ohm anode resistor, we have this thing here. So it is 250k pot, means that we have 220 in parallel, then to maximum another 250 plus 56. And you don't need to understand what I'm not telling, but I'm just telling that I'm varying the the anode resistors, the plate resistors, down to from something like 180 kilo ohms down to 50 or 40 kilo ohms. Still there is an impact on the sound, yeah, but it's still not you can choose between bad and worse, I would say, and not between good and excellent. Then I also have ports here. Finally I put them in. These are 2 mega ohm interstage dividers, so I can with these interstage dividers I can adjust how much signal I feed them from one stage to another stage. But these interstage dividers also did not really do any trick, of course, if you set them fully open, then the signal is too much overload. If you set them too small, there is no gain on this amplifier. I even tried to bridge them with capacitors, but once again, no avail. So just to give you a rough idea how this thing is sounding now, maybe it sounds good now on the camera, but in reality, and I will just probably just play a few chords and just change a few settings here on the amp. But once again, I'm telling you, this is, it might, at the first glance, it might sound good, but it is not. It's not worth being called a time bomb. So let me try. And the main problem is actually that these pentodes, they work not like a sharp cutoff pentode, but more like a what's the name, Regelpentode. I forgot the English word. Remote, I think it was something like remote cutoff pentode. They work rather than this, because because the distortion kicks in only if I really hit the strings very hard, and there's not much sustain. So means that the probably the operating point or the let's see, that this is the ECL282. Sorry, it's the wrong diagram. I think that I don't have it at hand now. Okay, I think that the operating point changes too dynamically, and there is no way for me to have this operating point more or less stable with my external circuitry. So the thing is, if I hit the strings very softly, the signal appears rather fast, and there's not much sustain in it. And if I just make some riffings here, with actually the best settings I tried, really, I was now trying for, again, 2 hours, and if I riff, but it's still, no. If I hit the strings rather lightly, then there's not much gain, and if I push them hard, then there is for a second gain, but it disappears too fast, and all things I tried here were hopeless. Yeah, here we can hear, I can personally hear it with this strumming on the A and D strings, string 2 and 3. I don't have much distortion. So my conclusion is probably then that I will just freeze the design with that level. I will measure the value of these anode resistors and conserve it for the time. The other thing is that this amplifier runs only on 190 volt plate voltage, which is determined by the original transformer, which supplies power to the ECL82 output section, and ECL82 design specification mainly says 200 volt plate voltage as a good operating point. So the initial design of this, or the initial design of this amp took a transformer with 200 volts, and that is on the other hand also obviously not enough for the input section for the EF86. I tried with some higher power now, so I made a flying, some cables flying out of my well, I don't know how to call this thing here. It's my universal test pult. So I was just applying something like 300, more than 300 volt to the plates. I can try to show. So we have here a power supply of a bit hard to get there. $322. But even that does not really the trick. Before that I I was running the preamp section on 180, 190 volt with a lot of mud. Now I have 300 volt, but still it doesn't do the trick, and I'm simply not satisfied, and now I spent 3 months on this design, and I can only say sorry. EF86 are pentodes, but in that case they are an epic fail for having good distortion, and that's the first pentode I encounter which does not sound well, except for these remote cutoff pentodes which I tried in Time Bomb 2. But finally with the standard sharp cutoff pentodes I had a very good result. These are sharp cutoff pentodes here, but EF86 obviously is not meant for providing a good metal amp. So in that case I can only say thank you. Time Bomb 3 was a good time to learn a bit. I'm on the other hand a bit frustrated, but now this design will just I will just fix the values, put everything I will remove these resistors and change them against fixed values, and then I will mothball it. So I will just put it in my shelf, and then I'm ready to go for the next adventure, Time Bomb 4, and for sure there will be a new video series. The next one, Time Bomb 4, shall be a roughly 80 watt head, once again with pentodes, in that case once again Russian pentodes, and I will talk about this then in a bit more detail in the next series. Yeah, so once again thanks for watching and to share with me this rather sad moment. Take care and bye bye.